Hello, welcome to the Geno52 podcast YouTube channel. I'm Tom, and I'm sat in the Moth Dungeon with my good colleague Stu.
Hello, and you're very lucky you can't see our faces because we're still a podcast, really.
We have got faces for radio, so some of you may have known us from the podcast scene. Some of you may have just stumbled across us, but we are a 30k Horus Heresy podcast based in the UK, covering all kinds of heresy-related news, content, stories, painting, hobby tips, all kinds of rubbish. So we thought we'd get our shows uploaded to YouTube and get them displayed there because we know people like to find them there. So we thought we'd do this brief intro because one of the things we've decided to do is not upload some of the original episodes. We started off the show a couple of years ago now. Was it 18 months ago?
18 months ago.
18 months ago, again. And it started off with just recording over Skype and stuff. So the quality of the audio is not fantastic, as you can imagine. A few months ago, we invested in a nice new sound desk and some nice new kit, and we now record together. So we decided to make the decision to upload from episode 16, which is when we started using this new kit. Just generally because it's a much better quality of stuff to put out there. I mean, the rubbish coming out of our mouth is still awful, but the actual quality of the audio is much better. So if you are interested, you do like it, you can go back on YouTube. Not YouTube, this is YouTube. Fucking great, aren't I? I'm well in it. You can go back on iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud or whatever you use for Google Play, whatever you use for finding podcasts, and find the older episodes. Some of them are probably a little out of date now in terms of the information in there and stuff, but some of you might want to be completionists and go back and listen. But yeah, we thought we'd give you a brief intro. But so for those of you that have not found us before, my name's Tom. I've been back in the hobby for it's about 3 years now, 3 and a bit years now. It's crazy how things have disappeared. I used to play, I was a gamer as a kid, used to play 40k, Epic Armageddon, Necromunda, Fantasy. Then at the wonderful age of about 15, 16, discovered beer, girls and rugby, and did the usual, vanished off from the hobby scene. A couple of years ago, I was getting fat and lazy at home, and the wife said I needed to do something that wasn't sit in front of the telly and eat. So we were wandering around Hobbycraft one day, and I found a box of 3 Space Marines, a little starter set they used to do with paints. I was like, I like that when I was a kid. I did keep up with the books and the video games and stuff when I was out the hobby as well. So I was like, hey, I get some of them and sit and paint them. And 3 years later, I now have nearly 7,000 points worth of painted 30k Ultramarines, let alone the 4,500 points of 40k stuff I sold. So yeah, massive Ultramarines player here and king of the UK whackers. So yeah, that's my backstory. How about you, Stu?
A bit like you, a bit of a returning gamer. I've been back a bit longer than you, though. I think about 8 years now. Similar thing, though. I think I gamed from a sort of 12 up to about 18 when I went off to uni and left my toys at home because I wanted to be more socially acceptable.
Meet some girls.
Doesn't really matter as much these days. I think times have changed a little bit with that. But back in the I'm going to age myself now. But back in the mid to late 90s, you didn't take your Warhammer to university with you.
Well, you did, but if you wanted to meet girls and be socially accepted,
if you'd already given up on that pursuit, you could. I hadn't. So I had quite a long time. I had about over 10 years out of the game, and got back in. And since then I've played lots of things. I think I got back in with Warhammer Fantasy sort of 7th ed, I played 8th ed, and I played lots of Malifaux and Hordes of War Machine. Dabbled a couple of times in 40k, but only literally 1 or 2 games. And as much as I loved the universe, I didn't really do any proper 40k gaming apart from Rogue Trader and 2nd ed back in the day when I was a kid. So I was sort of drawn back into heresy, I suppose, through the Black Library books, and I was reading them long before I was playing the game properly. Played a few different systems recently, and then kind of got dragged into heresy with a plastic Calf box, and that was it. Met Tom, and that was it really. And we've been back, sort of doing it fairly seriously. I mean, we're both painters. We're both very, very avid painters. So we'll have lots of hobby talk on the show. I'm a commission painter. That's my job.
For Miniature Round Studio.
So you'll definitely get a lot of painting talk. We're not saying we're experts. We're not Golden Demon winners, but we're decent enough to give a bit of advice.
We're both award winning.
Yeah, we're sort of.
Your award's slightly better than my awards.
Well, maybe not. But that's me really. Without going into great detail, I think we give a much longer intro to ourselves on episode 1. But yeah, I'd unless you're really desperate, I'd give those episodes a bit of a skip and And if you listen to podcasts anyway, go and subscribe to us on iTunes. That's probably the best place to listen to a podcast. But this is YouTube's always good as well. So, and we might stick up some videos and things as well. We don't fully know what we're going to do yet, but it's a good way of having somewhere else to upload the shows that people can get hold of them, and also a bit of a way of storing them for us as well. So if our host goes down or anything like that, at least there's a backup for it. For the
one of the things we do is we run the Tarsus event series in Cheltenham. So we've run three now, isn't it? Three events. We've got 3 events coming up in 2018 as well. I do produce little video clips and stuff, promo trailers and things like that for the events. So I might even end up banging some of those up on YouTube as well. And they're not particularly special, but I might just throw them up there and stuff for people to see. But yeah. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of intro into us. Hopefully you all enjoy the shows as they go up. We're going to try and get the backlog up over the next little while. Just depending on how long Stu's got to spend at it while editing and painting.
It takes a little while to kind of take the audio file and stick it. It doesn't take loads of time. It takes a long time for it to kind of edit down and as a savable file that I can then upload to YouTube. So it's not something I can just sit and do all in a couple of hours. It'll probably knocking them out one a week or something like that for a while. But once we catch up, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, hopefully once they go out, we tend to try and release a show about once a month. So once we're caught up, hopefully it'll then just be a case of, as the new show goes out, it'll go out on YouTube as well. But no promises, no commitments. As with everything, we don't commit to anything.
Again, if you like us and you want to get ahead, I mean, it's the 17th of December as we're recording this. We're just about to sit down and record episode 23, which is our Christmas special for this year. And after listening to this, if you decide to listen to more, the next one that you'll find is episode 16, Moth Dungeon. So there are a few in betweens. If you run out, obviously find us on iTunes or SoundCloud and stuff, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you'll stick with us. You can find us on Facebook, Geno52 Podcast. We've got a page where we pump rubbish out on. There's also the group as well, which is a bit of a community. Lots of posts of whips and a lot of abusive calling of each other about people's armies and stuff. So there's a really good crew in there, actually, of people
very friendly,
in there. So very friendly. Lots of good painting advice, lots of good hobby advice. We've got a good collection of hobby things in there. So lots of good places to ask questions. We're on Instagram. We've got quite a good Instagram going. Geno52 Podcast on there. We do have Twitter, which is Geno52 Pod, but
most stuff's linked on there. So if you were only a Twitter user and you don't use Facebook and Instagram, and I know there's a lot of people you can still catch up with on there.
So you'll find we tend to post, when we post something, we try and post it in all 3 places anyway, so you'll see it all. But go check it out. So hopefully enjoy it, guys, and we'll catch you soon.